Okay. Hey, y'all. Hopefully, my mic is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and get it started so it's seamless for the replay game. Let me see here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in on this one. So, all right. So let's just get into it. All right, so hey, my trendies, trendsetters, and my trendy tribe. Today we're diving into a similar lawsuit against a production company and Netflix for unfair treatment and not keeping the cast safe. A single lawsuit can set the stage for future legal battles in the entertainment industry. This will not be all inclusive because, in my opinion, Carlos King has done many acts that are not named in this particular lawsuit, but it is a great foundation, in my opinion, for future lawsuits if they were so to happen against Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and the Oprah Winfrey Network. So I just ask that y'all please help me in the chat to stay on topic of, for this one, this specifically is about how the cast, employees of Kingdom Reign Entertainment, of Oprah Winfrey Network, could have grounds for possible future lawsuits against them. So this is not pertaining to anyone that could not be considered an employee of Kingdom Reign Entertainment or Oprah Winfrey Network. So with that being said, just keep that in mind so we can stay on this specific topic for this live, and we could maybe delve into some other ones in a different live. Okay. And mods, as y'all see latecomers come in, if you could gently steer them to stay on topic, please and thank you. All right, y'all. So and I have my notes. I'm reading my notes. So in the world of film and television production, lawsuits are not uncommon. From disputes over intellectual property to labor violations, the stakes are high, and the precedents set by these cases often ripple across the industry. One such landmark case for me, well, I have two actually, will be Tran Dang versus Delirium TV Kinetic Content, which is the Love is Blind production. And also, hold on, let me get his name, Jeremy Hartwell versus Netflix and Kinetic Content, which is the production company. These lawsuits created a framework for how future reality TV lawsuits will be approached, in my opinion. So let me get you started with Jeremy Hartwell real fast. Now, his focused a lot on failure to pay minimum wage. Once the hours were actually accumulated and they were averaged out, it was lower than minimum wage. Failure to pay overtime and liquidated damages because of the failure to provide uninterrupted meal periods. But the reason I'm going to show y'all just a piece of Jeremy Hartwell's lawsuit against Netflix and Kinetic Content is because it sets the framework for how a production company for a reality TV series can then have their company that they use to air their show held accountable as well. So I'm only showing you the piece here, and the blue text that I show you within these two lawsuits will be because it is the language I could see pertaining to future lawsuits against Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and Oprah Winfrey Network. And let me check and make sure. I hope everything's okay because I sure have not checked the chat to see if the audio is okay. Okay, I think everything is good. Okay, so let's start with this one. So the blue text, if I highlight it in blue, in my opinion, it is legal language that could possibly come up in the lawsuit against Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and Oprah Winfrey Network. Okay, so with this one, Hartwell, when he and the law firm that represent him wrote this lawsuit, it said plaintiff brings this class action on behalf of himself and class members and aggrieved employees who consist of any persons who applied for and or participated in all non-scripted content produced for them in California on behalf of, and here is on behalf of Netflix, but again, replace that with Oprah Winfrey Network, and by Kinetic Content, replace that with Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and or any persons who signed a similar agreement document with this production company on any non-scripted content productions from the date 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint through the date of the trial in this action. And it says defendants operate production and distribution businesses employing class members for content on television and streaming services. And I'm just going down to the pertinent part to make sure. Netflix partners with production-related companies such as Kinetic Content and Delirium TV. So that could be Oprah Winfrey Network partners with production-related companies such as Kingdom Reign Entertainment to produce various forms of content to be distributed through Netflix's streaming services. Each defendant acted in all respects pertinent to this action as the agent of the other defendants, carried out a joint scheme, business plan, or policy in all respects pertinent hereto, and the acts of each defendant are legally attributable to the other defendants, as each defendant has ratified, approved, and authorized the acts of each remaining defendant with full knowledge of said acts. So the defendants would be the production company and Netflix. So it would be the production company and the platform that the production company shows their work. Okay, so that's all I have for Hartwell, and that's how I'm that's my example of them roping in Oprah Winfrey Network. But I want to show you one that hits home. It's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and say trigger warning, because it does not go to full trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. It does not go to full grape. But this person, this is another Love is Blind lawsuit, and I'm not reading the full lawsuit. I'm bringing up the language that would, to me, pertain to either Melody Cherie, Winter Harris, Monique Samuels, even Marquez, in different aspects. Again, this is a framework, and I want you to see the legal language that is used, and I promise you, you will see some areas and aspects where if they so chose to become plaintiffs, they would have grounds for, in my opinion, in my layperson's opinion, grounds for a strong lawsuit against Kingdom Reign Entertainment and Oprah Winfrey Network. Okay, so let me bring up the other one. And this will be the bulk of it. This other lawsuit will be the bulk of it. Let me give you a quick background. Tran was a Love is Blind contestant along with her fiance, Thomas Smith. Tran alleges that Thomas Smith, because they had to be under surveillance the whole time, they were sequestered, they did not have freedom of movement within the Love is Blind production. That's how the rules were. So a lot of times she was basically in the room by herself or in this closed off area by herself with Thomas Smith, who was her Love is Blind fiance. And Thomas Smith took illegal liberties with her in some ways that did not reach great, but were still grave. And you don't know how far the person's going to go. So a lot happened. And basically, Love is Blind turned a literal blind eye to it and minimized it. So when we read this lawsuit, pieces of the lawsuit, that is the context of it. So, and it's about putting people in dangerous situations and not taking accountability for it and acting like you don't have knowledge of it. Okay. So also we know recently, So Gucci spoke about her no contact order with Selena that is now up. But at the time, Carlos blamed Selena for, you know what you were getting into. Also, we saw the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville where, again, to me, led by production, they were trying to get Melody to show up in an area with someone she has a no contact order with, which would be Martell Holt. So first, I'll go ahead and play the clip. Shout out to Mila Chun and the person that sent it to me as well. Shout out to Mila Chun for the great interview. I got to see clips so far, but Mila Chun, you did your thing. You did your thing, girl. But thank you to who sent this to me as well. I don't know if you want public acknowledgement. That's the only reason I'm not saying it, because I don't mind giving credit. But I'm going to play this clip first when So Gucci confronted Carlos King, the one that he has now taken down and privated. She confronted him about the no contact order. And then we'll get into the legalese of the lawsuit, where I feel like it is very much giving heavy Kingdom Reign Entertainment becoming a defendant.
For me to have a conversation with Selena, there was no, we had a no contact order. And just to be honest, Carlos, I really felt disrespected. you know, I did have a no contact order with Selena, which ended, I think, October the 2nd this year. And the producer was sneaking around filming her, you know, and you know, and I just to be honest with you, you know, we don't keep it 100. You know, I just feel like I was on a platform where I thought I was protected, but I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that from your crew. I didn't feel protected, you know, and it kind of confused me a little bit. You know,
well, I was why did you feel protected? Because at the end of the day, you knew she was coming on the show.
Well, let me answer.
Hold on, let me ask you first. Let me ask you.
I understand.
Let me ask you though, because you talking answer you.
Yeah.
You knew she was coming on the show, right?
I mean, honest, you know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Don Don. I was saying that whenever you see this blue highlighted text, it's almost word for word what I think could be used in a lawsuit against Kingdom Reign Entertainment, Carlos King, Oprah Winfrey Network. Can y'all hear me now? Let me make sure. Let me wait. Because I still see no sound. I don't see confirmation of sound. So let me hold on. Okay, thank you. Okay. And I was saying there's been very public, I mean, as recent as just now when Chit Chat went live earlier today about Marie Monroe saying that they show one side, they don't show the whole thing. Obviously, we just have within the last 24, 48 hours, So Gucci's interview that is now privated, but she did a great interview with Mila Chun. We have, of course, the repeated pattern of what has been happening with Dr. Melody Cherie Rogers, that people, since some don't care for her, they don't choose to hear her truth. We have Monique Samuels. We have Aikisha. We have technically also how that could have gotten Selena in trouble with the no contact. We have a lot of examples. So I'm not here to cover every last one of them, but apply it as you see it for the people that have been part of a cast at one point in time connected to Kingdom Reign Entertainment. And again, this is public, so don't be mad at me for seeing the connection. Okay, so it says at all, and I think I gave the background. I don't think I was muted then. But again, this lawsuit is against the Love is Blind production company, basically Kinetic Content. It's also against Thomas Smith personally, the one that basically attacked Tran, who's the plaintiff in this, and how the production company basically tried to sweep it under the rug. In fact, if you go back to try to watch season 5, they deleted all of her scenes. They don't have pictures of her or the fiance that attacked her. They covered it up according to the lawsuit. So, all right. So it says, at all relevant and material times to the facts and allegations stated herein, defendants Delirium TV and Kinetic Content employed plaintiff and defendant Thomas Smith. Due to Smith's status as an employee of defendants Delirium TV and Kinetic Content, Smith's tortious actions taken in the workplace directly impute liability to defendants Delirium TV and Kinetic Content. Delirium TV and Kinetic Content are the producers for a reality television series entitled Love is Blind. Factual background. Plaintiff was hired by defendants Delirium TV and Kinetic Content as a participant in a reality television series entitled Love is Blind. Delirium TV and Kinetic Content are the producers for Love is Blind. Delirium TV and Kinetic Content controlled plaintiff's compensation, communicated the requirements for her services, including when and where plaintiff was to film her scenes, the length of the scene, rules of conduct for the scene, and a multitude of other important aspects of plaintiff's work assignments. Delirium TV and Kinetic Content also arranged all travel and hotel accommodations and provided all rules and regulations governing plaintiff and other participants. Delirium TV and Kinetic Content wholly controlled plaintiff's participation as a Love is Blind cast member, including but not limited to plaintiff's hours, physical location, the duration of plaintiff's role on Love is Blind, as well as plaintiff's rules of conduct. And for Love is Blind, 24-hour interactions and activities throughout the filming of the show. Based on Delirium TV and Kinetic Content's asserted control over plaintiff's work on Love is Blind, as well as other indicia of employment, including but not limited to control of plaintiff's interactions and activities throughout filming and thereafter, plaintiff asserts that Delirium TV and Kinetic Content were her employers. This is important. This is them establishing this is an employee-employer relationship. So we're going down. Blue text is what I feel, again, can be used in the lawsuits, the future lawsuits with Kingdom Reign Entertainment and OWN. All right, it says defendant Thomas Smith, again, this is trigger warning. On or around May 3rd, 2022, while Love is Blind was being filmed, Smith sexually assaulted plaintiff throughout the night. Not great, but still, assault, is touching and things like that. So it says Smith forcefully and without plaintiff's consent incessantly groped plaintiff, exposed himself in the nude to plaintiff without consent, and forcibly and repeatedly made sexual contact with plaintiff without her consent and over her express objections. I want to point out again, this is the Love is Blind fiance. So this is a romantic partner or romantic potential partner, a fellow cast member of this production company that did these actions to another cast member of that production company. It says, due to Delirium TV and Kinetic Content's 24-hour surveillance of plaintiff and defendant Smith, most, if not all, of these traumatic acts were filmed by the production crew and within their knowledge. We have examples of scenes that were filmed by the production crew and within their knowledge in the Kingdom Reign Entertainment department as well. Plaintiff reported Smith's conduct to the producers. Plaintiff detailed the assault and reported that she was uncomfortable being around Smith. The producers made attempts to mask plaintiff's assault by characterizing it as a lack of attraction on the part of the plaintiff. When plaintiff insisted an assault took place, defendants, the producers, questioned whether the problem was really one of communication and swept aside her concerns. Upon information and belief, defendants took no corrective action. Defendants ratified and condoned the mistreatment for the sake of reality television. Does that sound familiar? I'm just asking questions. As a proximate result of the despicable, extreme, outrageous, tortious, and grossly negligent acts and omissions by defendants alleged herein, plaintiff has foreseeably suffered and will continue to suffer extreme emotional distress, pain, mental anguish, and suffering as Smith's assault and Delirium TV and Kinetic Content's condemnation, so condoning of, constantly replays in her mind. Plaintiff is forced to shoulder the burden of Smith's horrible acts for the rest of her life. Plaintiff has incurred and will continue to incur substantial damages that were all proximately caused by defendants. When I was reading this also raised the question, Winter, when she did one of her lives, she spoke about her ex and how her mom had to tell her, stop eating that breakfast he's bringing you, and how she really, really found out how dangerous he could be to her health and everything. And, trying to say, oh, I don't think her mind, something's wrong. She seems to be forgetting a lot of things and all this other stuff. And do y'all remember when it was catchy, but when Winter was going around the table with her ex at the time and saying, sign those papers, and she made a whole jingle out of it about sign those papers. I don't remember if she knew he was coming or not. So I won't say she didn't know, but I don't remember if she knew he would show up to that scene either. Because at that point, I'm sure she had nothing left to say to him. So I'm just bringing up another time someone was made to be uncomfortable around someone they probably didn't have to be around, but I don't know for sure. So I'm going to have to say, I think. Causes of action: assault, threat of bodily injury. Defendant Smith was acting under the supervision of defendants, the production company, when these unlawful acts occurred. Defendant's threat of imminent bodily injury to plaintiff was a direct and proximate cause of plaintiff's severe mental anguish and emotional distress, for which each and every defendant is liable. Meaning, replace, just as an example, replace Thomas Smith with Martell Holt. Replace the production company name with the one that obviously I'm talking about right now. They are equally, and I would say equally and severally, responsible, is my opinion. Assault, battery, bodily injury, and offensive contact. Defendants, the production company, are liable for the crimes, assault, battery, and sexual assault of which plaintiff is a victim because they participated in the tortious, felonious acts directly themselves through the actions of their vice principal. Defendant was acting under the supervision of defendants Delirium TV and Kinetic Content when these unlawful, offensive, and provocative acts occurred. Accordingly, the production companies are responsible for defendants' conduct under the doctrines of respondeat superior and vicarious liability. Bodily injury and offensive contact to plaintiff were direct and proximate causes of plaintiff's severe mental anguish, pain, and emotional distress for which each and every defendant is liable. Negligence. This is a big one for me. Defendants, the production company, owed and breached plaintiff many legal duties. Such legal duties include, but are not limited to, and these are the legal duties I feel that Kingdom Reign Entertainment owes its cast, employees, everything. And the reason I also want to say employees and not just cast is because I don't know who in the production crew may have grievances as well that no longer work for Kingdom Reign Entertainment. Controlling this. Okay, so these are the legal duties the production company owed to their employees. Controlling the security and safety of the premises where filming, production, and post-production of Love is Blind took place. Not injuring plaintiff in a willful, wanton, or grossly negligent manner, or allow another to do so on their premises. Treating plaintiff in a manner that would not subject her to physical or mental injury. Controlling their employees and vice principals to supervise their employees and vice principals' activities and to prevent an employee and vice principal from causing an unreasonable risk of harm to plaintiff. Can y'all still hear me? Kendra might be behind in the audio or in the video, but I need to make sure. Please give me a confirmation that y'all can still hear me. Thank you, Linda. Okay. Controlling their employees and vice principals to supervise their employees and vice principals' activities and to prevent an employee and vice principal from causing an unreasonable risk of harm to plaintiff. Taking complaints and reports of sexual misconduct seriously. Sexual misconduct, like maybe revenge pee, maybe also participating in yourself by telling someone that is part of your cast, I think I will remember if I had a pee in my mouth. And investigate them in an effective manner, ensuring that reported sexual misconduct is not allowed to continue, and using ordinary care in providing a reasonably safe workplace. Defendants, Delirium TV and Kinetic Content breached the duties it owed to plaintiff, thereby approximately causing plaintiff's injuries and the damages alleged in this petition. Exemplary damages. Defendant's tortious conduct was malicious, fraudulent, or grossly negligent. Defendant's malicious, fraudulent, or grossly negligent conduct was carried out by defendants personally, through defendants' authorized agents, managers, officers, directors, vice principals, or principals of the defendants who were acting within the course and scope of their agency, employment, partnership, or joint venture. Alternatively, defendants' malicious, fraudulent, or grossly negligent conduct was subsequently approved by or ratified by defendants. Defendants intentionally breached the legal duties it owed plaintiff such that it could take undue advantage of plaintiff or otherwise maliciously treat plaintiff. The acts or omissions, not acknowledging, oh, I didn't know, of defendants, when viewed objectively from defendant's standpoint, involved an extreme degree of risk when considering the probability and magnitude of the potential harm to plaintiff and others. Additionally, defendants had actual subjective awareness of the risk to plaintiff and others, but proceeded anyway with a conscious indifference to the rights, safety, or welfare of plaintiff and others. Defendant's conduct was performed or designed with a specific intent to cause substantial injury or harm to plaintiff. As alleged herein, defendant's conduct is an example of why punitive damages exist, and plaintiff alleges that defendant's conduct rises to the level warranting the imposition of exemplary damages against defendants at trial. Respondeat superior liability. Plaintiff specifically alleges that defendants, the production company, have direct liability for Smith's acts and omissions at the workplace due to Smith's status as an employee. Plaintiff specifically alleges that any and all acts or omissions taken by Smith were indeed acts or omissions of the production company themselves. Whenever in this petition it is alleged that defendants did or failed to do any act or thing, it is meant that either defendants personally engaged in such conduct or that such defendants' governing bodies, directors, vice principals, officers, managers, agents, servants, employees, or representatives did or failed to do such act or thing, and that at the time such conduct occurred, it occurred with the authorization or ratification of defendants or was done in the normal and routine course and scope of employment or agency of such defendants' governing bodies. Damages. Plaintiff has incurred significant damages due to defendants' criminal, tortious, and outrageous conduct. Plaintiff seeks all losses sustained as a natural, probable, foreseeable, or proximate result of defendants' wrongful conduct, including general damages, actual damages, physical pain and suffering incurred in the past and future, mental anguish incurred in the past and future, disfigurement incurred in the past and future, physical impairment incurred in the past and future, medical expenses incurred in the past and future, loss of earning capacity incurred in the past and future, lost wages incurred in the past and future, all reasonable and necessary attorney's fees, exemplary damages, costs of court, pre-judgment interest, post-judgment interest, and all other relief in law and in equity to which plaintiff may be justly entitled. Plaintiff demands a jury trial and tenders the appropriate fee. Plaintiff prays that upon trial by jury, she have judgment against defendants for the damages alleged in this petition, as well as all other relief in law and in equity to which plaintiff may prove herself to be justly entitled. So, with that being said, I think days are numbered. I don't know who will be the one that will be a plaintiff, but I think that Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and Oprah Winfrey Network are on borrowed time when it comes to their cast, employees, however you want to categorize it, because there are many areas, especially gross negligence, omissions, legal duties that a production company should have. So that's my 2 cents. I wanted to show a lawsuit that was against a reality TV production company and a giant, which would be Netflix. I will tell you that the Hartwell lawsuit that we went over first, Netflix did settle with him for $1.4 million for him and the class action lawsuit people he represented. For trans, I don't see what happened with hers yet. I hope it's not dismissed, but I will tell you this. I hope it's not dismissed on her end, but I will say that with there being a very high visibility group of people that this is happening to with the Kingdom Reign Entertainment, in the loose examples I provided, and it is all my opinion, I believe that there is very good foundation and grounds for a lawsuit against this production company. There have been public interviews done by Carlos King himself that he does not want recognized, but it happened, with the no contact being violated and being put in situations and then blaming the person that was put in the situation. And then also done by great content creators on YouTube as well, like Millichan, like the person that interviewed Monique Samuels. And I'm not saying for hers might be a different grounds of framework that I did not describe. But what I'm saying is there is a lot in here that I personally, just in my opinion, saw in Kingdom Reign Entertainment. That is my opinion. All right. So just to make sure I stay on topic, I'm going to end it here. That's my 2 cents. If you didn't catch the whole thing, please hit the replay, because everything that's highlighted in blue is legal language that I feel like could somehow apply to Kingdom Reign Entertainment and Oprah Winfrey Network. All right. Thank y'all for your time. I'll talk to you later. Bye.